Hello, welcome back to another video, and I rarely do monthly wrap-ups because I never really read enough to warrant this. I normally do this every 3 months or so, and I read 7 books in the month of October, and the first one that I finished was Cat's Eye by Margaret Atwood. I think I gave this 3 stars on Goodreads if I remember correctly. I did enjoy the book overall. I thought it was very good, but the ending was a little bit rubbish, to be honest. I wasn't really that fussed about the end. But I think Margaret Atwood intertwines relationships and explains them very well, generally, especially female ones. And in this one, it is a toxic relationship between two friends. I mean, they're not, the way that one of them really treats you, that's not a very friendly relationship. But overall, it was a good book. And the next book that I read was Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I won't try and pronounce his name because I'll get it wrong. And this is translated from Japanese, and I think I gave this 4 stars on Goodreads. I should have really wrote this down before presuming what I've put. And I enjoyed the book, except really, I did enjoy the first story, it just wasn't my favourite. The second story nearly made us cry. It's a very emotional one, and it was about a husband and a wife. No, sorry, there's 4 in here, and the second one was my favourite. It was the most emotional, and I do recommend this. I do have the second book ready to read this month. And the third book that I managed to read was The Witness by R.L. Stine, and I did overall enjoy this. I think I give it 3 or 4 stars, I'm not sure, but it's just a very quick, young adult horror-ish read. It was meant for the Hallows-Eveathon, but I never bothered. I read it early. I don't really know how much or what to say about this because it just is what it is. And the next book that I have was also another short read, which was Alan Bennett's The Uncommon Reader, and I think I gave this 3 stars on Goodreads, I want to say, as well. It was alright, it was good fun, it was silly, we need a bit of daft stuff occasionally, and it is of course about the Queen, and I mean, we couldn't really imagine her act like this, but it's fun to imagine her in silly ways, and I'm sure she has her fun at home with family and things and stuff, but we don't get to see that, and it's just nice to imagine what she would be like. And my next book that I read was Homebody by Rupi Kaur, and I read this as part of the Hallows-Eveathon. Didn't really go with any of the challenges, which is fine. I gave this 3 stars. I thought it was okay. It wasn't my favourite of her work, to be honest. The first third of this book was probably my favourite. That's probably what resonated with me the most in regards to her poetry, which is fine. Poetry doesn't always work for everybody, so it is what it is, and that's fine. I'll still likely read other works of hers in the future. And the 6th book I read was The Good Bear by Sarah Lean, and this is Waterstone's book of the month for November, and I managed to get a copy free from work a couple of weeks before its book of the month, and I think it only came out within the past month or 2, as far as I'm aware. I'm not sure, but anyways, I gave this 5 stars on Goodreads. I loved it. It was a very nice, heartwarming story about a little girl that visits her dad, who has moved to another country and is in a relationship with another woman, and and the relationship that she has with her dad isn't necessarily the best, but they kind of reconcile, at least understand each other by the end of the book, which is all good. It's nice, and yeah, a really good children's book. And the last thing I read was also The Good Bear was part of the Hallows Eveathon as well, but the last book I read for the month and Hallows Eveathon was Margaret Atwood's Daily Poems. I gave this 2 or 3 stars on Goodreads, I think 3. There was a handful of poems that I really liked in the whole collection, but a lot of them I wasn't really too fussed, or they were just okay. I don't really have anything to say about this, to be honest. I mean, I was hoping slightly that I'd enjoy it a little bit more than I did, but I think it's Atwood's fiction that I might enjoy a lot more than a poetry. So, I mean, I might try another collection of poetry at some point, but I'm not really going to push myself to do that, since obviously a fiction has worked well for me so far. I've read like 4 of her books and I've enjoyed all of them. So I look forward to getting to some more of her books and see how that goes. And I hope you've enjoyed this video today. Comment down below if you've read and enjoyed any of the books I've read this month. So I will see you very soon in the next video, whatever that may be. I'm unsure yet. And I will see you then.